Hello and welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is the weekly tarot forecast for Taurus. Starting you off with the Lust or Strength card. We're going to lay out the rest of our 10 card spread here. But we are also going to draw an 11th card. 11 is the number of magic. 11 is going to be our confirmation card, our bonus card. We're going to put it right here. We're not going to look at it until the very end of the reading and just see how it might tie this whole reading together or give us that confirmation that we're looking for, okay? So we're starting out with the Lust or Strength card. This is the 11th major arcana card. So I feel like this situation is in some way related to your either to your courage and bravery or to your strength and magical power and this ability that you have to control the situation, control the circumstances, or control yourself and control like your appetite and your fiery energy, right? So we're going to see how we might be able to put this into some context. I feel like you are the type of person who has sacrificed a lot in life. I think you're kind of one of those people that always wants to do for others or is always ready to give someone the shirt off their back, let's say. I think you're very generous even when it puts you at a disadvantage. I think you maybe tend to stay in the background a little bit. I just see a lot of sacrifice in your kind of your unconscious or your history, your personal history. I think you're that type of person who is kind of ready to suffer for something they believe in, ready to suffer in order to kind of elevate someone else. So I feel like you're very generous in that way, and you're very giving in that way, and you're ready to sacrifice yourself for the good of others. Okay, I think that's kind of a bit of where you're coming from in this situation. I think in the very recent past, we have this Chariot card. I think in the very recent past, you might have either been traveling or maybe you've just gotten back from a short trip, or it could be that you're planning a trip as well. Maybe the trip hasn't happened yet. But I think there's something going on here with some travel of some kind. And I'm kind of thinking that this travel hasn't happened yet because this chariot is not moving. This charioteer is ready to go, has their bags packed, but nothing is happening yet. Okay, so this could be that maybe the trip has happened and you've just now returned. You could maybe just like literally in the last couple of days you've returned from a short trip. I don't know what the nature of that was. Or this could be that you've got your stuff packed and you're ready now and you're just kind of waiting for that trip to happen or just kind of waiting to leave. So either way, I do see that there's some sort of travel going on, and it's kind of related to this situation of where you've really got the opportunity to take control. I think, with your tendency to kind of self-sacrifice or put yourself last or kind of deprioritize yourself to let somebody else kind of go first, you know what I mean? I think with this tendency and related to this kind of travel or this opportunity that you either have just kind of returned from or you're about to set out on it with this Chariot card. I mean, this may be literally travel, right? Literally like you've got your bag in your hand and you're like in the cab, in the Uber to the airport right now as you watch this, getting ready to travel somewhere. Or this could be that you've returned and you haven't yet processed the whole trip or like unpacked it, you know what I mean, like literally and figuratively. But this could also be an opportunity that you are prepared to take, but you haven't taken it yet, but you're ready to do it, you're ready to go. But then there's this tendency to sacrifice yourself to let somebody else go ahead of you or to elevate someone else before yourself, so putting yourself into the background. And I think the situation this week is one where you can't do that. I think you have to put yourself first. I think you have to harness your own inner beast and you have to go and conquer and take what is yours and, for once maybe be just that selfish animal and take what you deserve, take what you've earned, or take whatever this opportunity or this trip or whatever it is, take advantage of that. Because I really think that that this situation normally would find you just sacrificing yourself for it, like for someone else, for someone else's opportunity, or putting yourself in the background, or just kind of putting yourself second or third and letting somebody else take advantage. But this week, I think, is really about you harnessing your power, your inner beast, this lion. I mean, you're Taurus, you're the bull. Sometimes you gotta just be that that fierce bull and just go out and get what you want, get what you've earned, what you deserve. And I think really it's about harnessing that part of you that has that kind of fighting animal spirit, right? Getting control of that, harnessing it and using it for your advantage to take whatever this opportunity was. If this is literally travel, or literally just returning from the travel and trying to process what happened on that journey. Whatever it is, you've got to take advantage of it. You've got to be that beast and take advantage of whatever that was. I think coming across your path this week in those kind of terms is this Six of Wands. And this is that balanced, harmonious, kind of victorious, fiery energy, right? So if you're using this lust and strength and your inner beast to harness it and take advantage and go out there and fight for what you deserve and for what you've earned, well, you're going to succeed. Six of Wands, victory. You're going to win the battle. You're going to win the fight. And I think that is the perfect time for you to really let loose and go out there and just fight for whatever this thing is. And you're gonna get. I think you're gonna get it with that Six of Wands. You're gonna be victorious. Whether it's something you actually want in the long run or not, maybe we'll see with some of these other cards. But if you go out and fight for this, you're going to win. You're going to come out on top. You're going to dominate. You've got to harness that inner beast and just go and fight for what you want, what you earn, what you deserve. I think your highest ideal in this situation, like what you want the outcome to be, you're kind of like what you're hoping for, is to not have to fight, to things to just to happen, for maybe for the decision to be made for you. We see this Two of Swords up here at the top of our spread. And I think this might be part of you that doesn't really want to decide, doesn't want to go fight for this, just wants to just be in the background, just, I don't care, you guys decide, whatever you decide is fine, I think that's kind of what you're hoping for a little bit in this situation. That it'll just kind of work itself out and you won't have to fight. You won't have to make the decision to go and do this battle or whatever it is, that you just kind of want the decision to be made for you. And I think that's kind of, I think that's kind of what you're hoping for, because you don't want to get involved. You don't want to have to do any of this fighting that we see with this card. Now this, is one of several major arcana cards. So I feel like what's happening this week is not really, it's not up to you. Like you want somebody else to make the decisions for you, but ultimately the universe is putting you in this situation and you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to deal with it, And I think it's really going to benefit you to assert yourself, be confident, be courageous and brave, and fight for what you've earned, fight for what you deserve. I think you're going to come out on top and be victorious, even though you would rather just not get involved, not have to participate, just you guys sort it out, and whatever happens is fine with me. But again, with these major arcana cards, I feel like the universe is not going to let that happen. This is something that you're going to have to deal with, whether you like it or not. But I really think it's going to benefit you. I really think that you're going to have the best success possible with that. In the immediate future, we see that Three of Wands. So you're kind of hoping for the Two of Swords here. Just make the decision and I'll just go along with whatever the group decides, or, But really what's going to happen is this Three of Wands. You're going to have to make a decision based on what is right for you, and not just based on the fact that you've always put yourself kind of last, you've always sacrificed yourself, you want to be in the background. That's fine, but what do you really want? What is really going to make you happy? What is going to represent your success, right? I think you have to go for that. I think you have to fight with this lust and strength card, You have to fight based on what you know is right deep down within you. What do you want for yourself? Okay. And I think that in the immediate future, that's the decision that you're going to have to make. Is what are you fighting for? You're going to be fighting and you're going to win, but you have to decide what it is that you want. Truly, deep down within you, what you really want, and that's what you're going to be fighting for. Okay. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. It's because of all of you that we're able to keep growing, and I get to keep doing what I love to do every day, every week, every month. And also go and watch the other videos that may pertain to your sun, moon, or rising signs. I think that'll give you a much more dynamic picture of what's going on. Okay, now we're going to move on to the second part of this reading. I think you see yourself a little bit as someone who maybe has lost interest in doing some of these things. And maybe that's kind of the reason why you put yourself last, that you just kind of, you're willing to sacrifice for other people. A lot of that, I think, is just you're a very generous person. You like helping others. You like to be of service to people. And, you know, you like doing what you can to alleviate someone else's suffering, even if that means that you take on a little bit of that suffering yourself. But I feel like it's kind of been a lot lately where now you have this this kind of outlook on life, or the way you see yourself is just that nothing is interesting anymore. Nothing is really giving you that fighting spirit that we've been talking about. So I think that you see yourself as someone who has just lost interest in life and in adventure and in, you know, that fighting spirit and that courage and that ambition, right? With this Eight of Cups, I think it's just you've gotten maybe a little too comfortable doing this, that you are just kind of losing your excitement, losing your interest in the things of life, right? Just in the work that you do and friends, nothing really seems to do it for you anymore. And so I think you're kind of getting into this this habit a little bit, where you just, nothing seems interesting anymore. Okay, and I think you know that about yourself, and I think it's really tied in with this Hanged Man and that tendency of yours to kind of, you know, to be in the background, to put yourself last. I think it's starting to take its toll, having that kind of outlook all the time. And I think that's why, like, the central focus is you got to get in touch with that fighting spirit again, with that inner animal, that beast, and you got to go and fight for what you want, and you're going to succeed. Okay. In terms of what is going on around you, the situation itself, we have the Three of Swords here. So I'm wondering if this, you know, if you're winning, you're conquering, if you have this victory that we're talking about, that is going to probably put somebody else at odds with you. It's going to give somebody else some of that grief and suffering that I think you've been taking on a lot of just in your life in general. But you know what? There, in any kind of a situation like this, someone is going to be victorious and someone is not going. I don't want to say they're a loser, but someone's going to lose, right? I mean, there can't be two winners in a situation like this. So I think you have to prepare yourself for really letting someone else take the loss for once, like letting somebody else just be defeated, right? And I think that the environment around you, whoever this situation involves, right? You know, they're not going to be happy with the outcome, but you have to be prepared for that, because for so long I think you've been putting yourself in the background or as second priority or whatever, and so now you're going to have to kind of give that to somebody else, and that's going to be hard for you to do, because you're that type of person that wants to see everybody happy, that wants to just elevate everybody else, even if it means that you have to kind of you know, take a secondary role or kind of sit in the back seat. You want everybody else to feel good and be happy. So it's going to be challenging for you when you have this victory and you see that there's some people around you that aren't too happy about it. But that's the way life is, right? And it doesn't mean that there's any kind of valor taken away from you, or any kind of detriment to your success and your victory here, because in any kind of a contest like this, and I don't know what this situation is, maybe you could leave me some comments and let me know. what exactly is going on, or just, a general idea. But either way, there's going to be someone that is not happy with the results of this. They're not going to be happy seeing you victorious, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You still have to do what is right for you. And further, we have the Two of Discs. So I think that this is really a time for you to make some changes in your life. I think that this is really like, change can sometimes be scary, but I think if you're getting out of this kind of mode of living and being, right, using this fiery energy, this like inner beast that you're harnessing, this lust and strength card that we have here that's going to be victorious in whatever this thing is, you're really going to see some life changes happening. It's really going to like start to change things for you. I think you're going to see a return of your interest and your love for life and for indulgence. Things are going to seem a little bit brighter. Colors are going to be a little more vivid. I think you're going to have more financial success. You're going to feel better, right? With this Two of Discs, I think that this kind of, I just see kind of a little bit of a sadness or depression kind of running through everything. And I think that it's really going to be changing now. And as a final outcome or a more long-term projection, we have the Tower card. So with this Tower card, I really feel like you're going to be completely like revamping how you interact with the world or how you go about your business, if this is a career thing or if this is whatever situation this is. I think you're really going to be taking on a whole new attitude. I think your old way of kind of doing things with this is, I think you're done with that. I think through this Lust card and this victory and really doing things that are meaningful to you and important to you, I think you're going to see some positive changes in your life, and those positive changes are going to be like you're just rebuilding yourself in just like a bigger, faster, stronger, more successful way, right? So I think it's a really great evolution from this Hanged Man, this just watery, suffering, sad kind of energy into this fierce Tower, this Mars energy, this just, conquering and dominating, and I think you're just kind of restructuring yourself to have a little bit more of this kind of ambition, a little bit more of this fire. And, I think that it is going to benefit you, and again, it's going to cause some positive change. It's going to bring some real benefit to your life. Now we have this 11th card, this confirmation card. I don't know what this is. Let's see how this might tie the entire reading together. What do we have? We have the 10 of Swords. Okay, well, this is a little bit interesting. I don't know if this is the confirmation necessarily that we're looking for, but I think that this is really the end of this cycle that you're in of just kind of thinking negatively or putting yourself last or putting yourself in the background. This kind of this inner dialogue that you have that maybe is putting you in the back, or you're saying, well, other people need to go first, or I shouldn't make myself the foreground or the center of attention, or and kind of letting other people make the decisions. I think this 10 of Swords is really showing that it's the end, it's the final moments for this kind of energy for you. I really think that this is going pretty close together with that Tower card, where it's the end of that method, that mode of thinking. And what comes after the air, well, then you're going into water and you're going up into fire. So I think in terms of your energy, this kind of negative self-talk or this convincing yourself that you need to sacrifice so much for others, I think that kind of inner dialogue is coming to an end. And then you're going to go into a more watery communication style, which is going to be more compassionate. You're going to have more empathy. You're going to understand people on that deeper emotional, spiritual, intuitive level. But it's not going to be the situation where you're lacking those things for yourself. So you can have that compassion and empathy and understanding and intuition for yourself too. It's going to be a return of that self-love rather than just this kind of the negative self-talk, that internal dialogue that is just convincing you to take the back seat. Okay, so you're going to move into a more watery communication style, or just an experience with a lot more of that watery energy, where you're going to have that compassion and empathy for others and for yourself. And that means that, you know, you have to do what's going to be best for you as well as for everybody else. So you're not going to lose your compassion for everyone else. You're still going to be willing to give someone the shirt off your back. But then you're going to go out and get yourself another shirt too, because you can't just get cold and freeze, and you know what I mean? You still have to take care of yourself while you're taking care of everybody else too. So it's kind of it's a transcendence of this kind of self-sacrifice, suffering water energy into a more compassionate, intuitive, and just a relationship with a lot more empathy, okay, and a lot more self-love too. I think that's key. So this isn't really that confirmation that we were looking for, but I think this is a really just kind of a good hint of the future, and just kind of revealing a little bit of maybe what the next week or next month's reading will be like, if we're going to shift focus from whatever this situation is and start looking at how this air energy has wrapped itself up and now maybe into a new kind of watery energy. So anyway, Taurus, thank you so much for letting me read for you today. This was your weekly tarot forecast. If you want to stick around for the extended version, you can become a member of this channel, and all of the information is down in the description box. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today.